This is just a quick response to a response on one of my videos, which I was kind of surprised because I consider that to be one of my crap videos. Not that any of them are particularly good, but that one is bottom tier of crap as far as my videos go. Anyway, let me start out by reading the definition of methodological naturalism. Methodological naturalism is the label for the required assumption of philosophical naturalism when working with the scientific method. Methodological naturalists limit their scientific research to the study of natural causes because any attempts to define a causal relationship with the supernatural are never fruitful and result in the creation of scientific dead ends, such as the God of the Gaps hypotheses. To avoid these traps, scientists assume that all causes are empirical and naturalistic, which means they can be measured, quantified, and studied methodically. That's very important because, as I'll get into later, you claim that science does this and that it breaks its own rules by doing so, which is not true, and I'll explain later on. For your first question, I believe in things that are real and can be seen or cannot be seen or measured, like love, kindness, and abstract ideas. And I say these things are real, but not in the meaning that they're absolutely real and measurable. These are all subjective experiences. You can know of love and you can be in love, and there are two different ways of knowing the same thing. This is hard to judge. All of it's subjective. You're not sure how powerful the love is, that sort of thing, how close you are to the truth in this context of the truth. These have to be subjective because the only way we're capable of knowing and measuring them is through subjective means, but experiencing them, or empathy of knowing about them and relating them to experiences you have had. This leads to the second question about conclusion first reasoning. Religion starts with a conclusion and works evidence into that conclusion. I stand by what I originally said. All worldviews don't do this. It's not, you said, don't all worldviews do this? No. A conclusion is the end, the answer, the known. It cannot be changed. Most worldviews and understanding of the world, that conclusion is not rock solid. I may start out with the idea that something is, that I know an answer to something, but I don't ever consider, I don't limit the possibility that I could be wrong, that I could be uninformed, that new evidence could come to light and that could change my idea. My biggest problems with religion is when it takes something that is proven false and then tries to bastardize science into supporting its point when it doesn't. Like, we have no transitional forms in the fossil record, or the Grand Canyon could have been carved in God's Great Flood. Those are the things that chap my balls. Religion tends to claim that the truth is truth in spite of the evidence. Because of this way of my way of thinking, I'm free to change my conclusions and as new evidence comes to light and improve my understanding. I take a nothing written in stone approach to it. And I say science doesn't work towards a conclusion specifically because of the way it treats evidence and treats, if you want to call it, a conclusion. Science is objective in the processes that it tests in order to get to a conclusion. In science, the evidence isn't based on the conclusion, but rather supports or refutes a hypothesis, and then the process starts over again and refines itself. The conclusion is never set in stone, the same method of my thinking. Science says that whatever explanation XYZ has to be naturalistic because that's what we can test. We can only test naturalistic explanations, and that's the only scrutiny that science puts on its assumption is this will be a naturalistic cause. Because if it's not, you can't test it, you can't repeat it, and it becomes valueless. Because there's nothing you can do with a supernatural cause. If you abandon this, light bulbs might be powered off of electricity passing through a filament, or they might be powered by fairies or the flying spaghetti monster or unicorns. If you start and throw out that theory, then it undermines the entire process. It just doesn't work that way. Yes, science assumes everything is naturalistic because that's what works. I hope this shed some light on that. Didn't mean to ramble. Have a good one.